Professor Ruwan Jayasinghe is a department chair and senior professor in the Department of Oral Medicine and Periodontology, Faculty of Dental Sciences, University of Peradeniya. He is a board certified specialist in oral surgery, an adjunct honorary professor of Teesside University, UK, Savitha Dental College, India, and Sri Ramachandra Dental College and Hospital, India. He received his BDS from University of Peradeniya in 2001 and received MS from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo in 2005 and became a board certified specialist in oral surgery in 2007. He is a fellow of the Faculty of Dental Surgery, Royal College of Surgeons and Physicians of Glasgow National Academy of Science of Sri Lanka, CDDSL, and in Craniofacial Research Academy. He has more than 155 full paper research publication in international and local peer-reviewed journals, 8 full papers in proceeding, 25 abstract publications in journals, more than 220 international and local research presentation to his credit. He was awarded multiple awards for his research and teaching, including presidential awards for scientific publication in the years 2014 and 2015, an NRC Merit Award for 2016, and KSM Health Prize in 2020. He obtained more than 15 research grants as principal investigator and was a co-investigator in more than 15 grants. He has written more than 10 books and contributed 20 chapters in books. He has delivered 8 orations, 30 international guest lectures, 40 local guest lectures, contributed to 20 symposia more than 250 times as a resource person in workshops. He is the current director of the University of Peradeniya, Head Operation, Deputy Director, Peradeniya University Research and Grant Office, University of Peradeniya, and the former director of the Center of Research in Oral Cancer. He served as the secretary of a specialty board in oral pathology, PGIM. He is a board member of the Board of Study in Dental Surgery, specialty board in OMF Surgery and Oral Pathology, PGIMA, and Board of Study in Clinical Sciences at the PGIMS. He was the former head of the Department of Oral Medicine and Periodontology of the Faculty of Dental Sciences and Department of Radiography and the Radiotherapy in the Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. He held many positions in professional associations, including President of the College of Dentistry and Stomatology of Sri Lanka and President-elect of the Sri Lanka Dental Association. He is the current president of the Sri Lanka Society of Oral Medicine and Oral Pathology. He was the co-editor of Sri Lanka Dental Journal 2015 to 2018, is serving as the multiple journals as an editorial board member and reviewer. He is the current treasurer of the Kandy Society of Medicine. So with that introduction, I would like to welcome our resource person, the Professor Ruwan Jayasinghe. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are mute, sir.
Sorry. Thank you very much for those kind words of introduction. And I was wondering whether you are introducing myself or somebody else with that long introduction. Just give me a second until I share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. First of all, I must like to thank the Young Scientists Forum as well as Dr. Kalpani Ratnayaka for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts, some of my experience with you all. So in this presentation, I will be talking to you on few tips which can help you to take you to the next level. And most of the things that I am going to present to you during this presentation is my personal experience and my personal viewpoint. And some of the things I get it from the other sources, but most of the time what I'm going to talk to you is the points which helps me to come into the current position and who I am today. Unfortunately, Kalpani, I have to go through what you have said again. I have put 2 slides thinking that you will not introduce myself. So this is not to blow my own trumpet, but to show you the importance of having certain characteristics, certain qualities, certain tips for you to take into the next level. So if you look at my qualifications and the affiliations and various other achievements that I have achieved during my 23 years of career, you can say it's basically all over, and I have not be just being confined to my own specialty, but also I have gone out of the specialty and served the community in multiple ways. So all these comes with a lot of hard work. And therefore, all that experience that I have gained throughout this 23-year of journey is what I'm going to share with you. And thank you all for joining at this hour. I know it is not the best time. Everybody is tired after a hard day of work, but I still believe you will be able to get some important points, at least 1 or 2, which will shape your career to the next level. One has to understand that most of our time we are serving in the workplace. It may be the university, it may be the organization, the association, whatever you are working with, but a significant number of hours that in our life we are working in these places. And this time has to be spent in a successful manner. And that has to help you in multiple ways. One, it has to help you as a person. And number 2, it has to help you, it must help you to take you into the next level. And in order to do that, it is very important for us to have a positive mind frame. All of you who are listening here, and not only you all, and even the others who are in the society, is having the potential to go to the next level. But unfortunately, most of us are either not take ourselves positively, or we are underestimating ourselves, or we are not committed enough to achieve that. And there are different habits and tools which will make our life and our career easy. So this is what you are going to learn from me during the next 40 to 50 minutes. And it is very important for the young professionals in the field to continuously improve their skills, because you want to be in the career, and not only that, you have to go up in the ladder. Remaining in the career itself is not an easy task. There's a lot of competition. Fortunately or unfortunately, in our system, if you get it into a permanent post in the government institution, or for that matter, even in the non-state institution, most of ours are having a job security. At times, it is a negative thing for us as well. So once you get there, once you get to a job satisfaction, the push that will come with the job is not there. So there are people who are surviving as it is without going up in the ladder. So improving your skills has to be relevant, competitive, and successful. Getting a skill alone is not good enough. That skill has to be relevant to your profession, and it should be relevant to you. And if you look at people, sometimes they have the qualifications on completely different fields. Sometimes they have we'll say a medical qualification, and they have an archaeological qualification. Sometimes they have a qualification on Buddhism. Likewise, there are different qualifications. Now, one has to answer, okay, having a qualification is good, but whether these qualifications are going to help you either in getting up in your academic life or the professional life, or whether these qualifications are help you in your personal life. These two aspects has to be considered. Sometimes when you look at the qualification, it may not be very helpful for us in our professional life, but that will be very helpful in the personal life. So therefore, it has to be decided whether it is relevant to you, and it should not be for me. The relevance is for the person, not for the others. And it has to be, you have to have your skills to be compete with the others in the same area, the same field. In a way, it is a race. So we all are running in a race, and whoever goes first will get it into the winning post. And if you are lagging behind, and if you are not competitive enough, you will not be able to go into that level. Thirdly, and they have to be successful. There's no point in having the best qualification, the best skill, the best knowledge, whatever, and if they are not going to help you in your career. So you have to be successful using those skills. And don't worry about this. And this is to show you, when you look at your career pathway, there are two sides of your career pathway. One is where your employer is going to look at you. And the other, you as the employee, how are you going to look at it? And at times, there can be a mismatch between the two. So it is very important for us to understand the two and go with the path which will not cross each other. For example, a person who is in a university system, the university administration requires certain qualities, certain pathways for you to follow. Whereas you may be having a different idea. You may want to pursue in a different career. At times, these two may not come together. And if that is the case, you have to take the decision which way you are going to go with. Otherwise, it will be a continuous clash between your employer and yourself, which may hinder your development. So you have two options. Either you get it into the system and balance between the employer's requirement and your requirement, or change the pathway and go into the area that you like. Because at the end of the day, whatever we do has to be for us and not for somebody else's. So this is what the employer is going to look at it. So I'm not going to discuss all this because the individual component of how the employer is going to look at and the employee is going to look at, we will discuss later in the presentation. So in simple, this is my advice to the young scientists. So all of you are here. So this is my advice in one slide. Number one, improve your communication skills. This is the key. Unless you have the proper communication skills, you are not going to go into the next level. The communication skill is very important, and I can see some of my junior colleagues are here, and they know how strict I am when it comes to the communication skills. It is very critical, and it makes you to the next level. At times, you get an email, and it takes ages for you to send the reply, and even to your boss. Now, that cannot be done. So if you are going to go with the system, the communication has to be effective, quick, and up to the point. There are enough people who are waiting to get the things done. So therefore, if you get the opportunity and if you do not respond it immediately, you are going to lose the chance. I will give you one example. So in this presentation, I will be taking some examples from my personal experience and the tips from my career. So today they closed the joint Indo-Lanka grant scheme. So this grant scheme was a combined grant scheme. Parties, one Indian party and a Sri Lankan party, and both these parties has to apply for it. Now, we were able to apply for 5 grants in the same scheme. I think that is an achievement. Now, how we apply that? Most of the time, these invitations came from the Indian side. And what they do, as there has to be a Sri Lankan partner, they pick some people from the net with a good research profile, and they're sending the invitations to those people with a personal note asking whether they are willing to collaborate with them. And as they have sent few invitations, if you are not going to reply it immediately, there may be somebody else who is above you and they will reply to them. And then they will go with the person who is replied first. And not only that, when you are replying, it tells the person you have taken the message seriously. Never ever wait for you to do to reply. And then the communication skills comes with multiple aspects. Replying on time is one, and there's no point in writing the emails which is few pages in length. That is not going to work. Who is going to read all that? So your message in your email or in WhatsApp or whatever has to be professional, and it has to be up to the point and as small as possible. So then the people will take it, and then you can do the communication. Verbal communication is also equally important. You have to talk to the people. There is no point in you keeping your ideas, you keeping it to yourself. So talk to the people, get their support, and work with them. So the communication is a very important quality. Number two, learn broadly and choose well. So there are multiple aspects for you to learn. You don't have to be a person who is doing the multitasking, or you don't have to be the expert for each and everything. So you have to select your area, but at the same time, having a broader knowledge, including the knowledge about the society, what's happening in the society, the problems that the people are facing with, the problems that the scientific community is facing with, what is happening in and around you. And all these are important because those will help you to identify your research questions and identify a research question which will be valid for the society. So you can do something for the society and give it back to the society. Third point that I want to tell you is to establish a name for yourself. The invitations and all the opportunities comes with the name. Now, why am I here? So why I am talking to you today? One, it is because of my name. Number two, it is because of my communication. You can ask from Kalpani how I communicate with her, and you can ask from her how we came into the interaction. So just because you are there, you are not going to get the invitation. You will not get invited for many things. So you have to have your name, and that name has to show that you are a capable person. You have done something good, and you are a person who is trustworthy. So that is very important. And finally, allow yourself a waste time. Right? Remember, our life is not 100% the work. Even if you look at the time that we are going to use for the work, there has to be a time for you to think. Unfortunately, we work. There is no good quality time for us to think. Unless you use the quality time for thinking, reading, and interacting with the people, similar-minded people, new ideas will not come in. So we will be doing the same thing again and again. So it is very important for us to have some time which we can use to read, which we can use to think, as well as for our personal life. Otherwise, at one point, you may be a good researcher, but you may not have looked after yourself well. So there can be various health issues and other things. And when we are trying to go up in the ladder, don't think that it is an easy task. There will be some challenges, but these are only challenges. These are not hindrance. These are not barriers. So if you can identify your challenges and if you can find the ways to overcome these challenges, you will be very successful. Now, one of the biggest problem that we are having is the poor research training and lack of resources to conduct the research. Now, again, even though this is a challenge, this can be overcome by having collaborations. Now, if you look at some of my work, those work has not been done in the Faculty of Dental Sciences alone. So we have done the work at different institutions. I have collaborations with the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Engineering, National Institute of Fundamental Sciences, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, Ministry of Health. So we can share the resources. There is no point in getting all the equipments, all the instruments, all the chemicals again and again. Unfortunately, we all like to have our own lab. And certain issues, now, for example, if you look at biochemistry in one institution, there are multiple biochemistry labs, one in dental, one in medical, one in vet, one in science. So likewise. So we are basically duplicating the resources and the manpower again and again. We don't have to do it. So if you don't have the adequate resources or the consumables, one thing that you can do, you can collaborate, and that will help you to get out of this challenge. The other, we may not be having the research training, but there are enough avenues for us to improve our research training. There can be funding issues. I fully agree, especially when we are working in this part of the world. This is one of the problems. Now, in order to overcome the funding, one, we can select the areas where we need the minimum funding to start with. Just because you don't have the funding does not necessarily means you are not going to work. So still you can work, but consider area where the funding is not very much essential. And once you get the publications, once you get your name established, applying to the grants and getting the grants will be much, much easier than when you don't have much of a publications and a good track record. So make sure you get a good CV done with that. The second, again, the funding issues can be sorted out to some extent by having the collaborations. Sometimes it is national, sometimes it is international. So we do a lot of systematic reviews and the meta-analysis. One of the problems that we are facing with the systematic reviews and meta-analysis, we don't have the access to the articles. We can't do a Scopus search, and we can't do a Web of Science search because we don't have the access. And even if we get the access some or the other and we do it, when it comes to the publication, now most of the journals are open access journals, so they are asking for a article processing charge. So what we have done is basically we are having the collaborators outside the country. So we have developed some friendship, the collaborations. So when we are planning a project, we invite one of these collaborators into the project. So from the beginning, they are there. So the things that we cannot get, they can provide to us. Now, for example, systematic reviews or the meta-analysis, the screening, getting the full paper articles and other required softwares, they can do it from their end without much of a problem. Whereas for us, it is difficult. And even publishing article processing charge, you can do it through those channels because they have the access to most of these good journals. Then another challenge is absence of good mentorship. I will say there are two sides to this. One, there are mentors, but we don't go for them. On the other hand, at times, the people who are good researchers, they are not the good mentors. So we have to have a person who is good in the work as well as in the mentorship. Mentorship is completely a different ball game. Just because you are a good researcher does not necessarily means you are a good mentor. So having both sides is important. So you need to have a good mentor, and if you can see a person who you think that who will shape your career in the future, rather than the person coming to you, you can go to the person and get the advice, get the guidance, get the support from the person. And finally, this is more applicable for the people who are in the university and other institutions. There is a heavy burden of administrative responsibilities. I agree at times, especially the young people, you will get a lot of work, the work to be done, and you will be responsible for this work. So even if I get some responsibility, half of my responsibility, I will say not half, more than half, definitely will come into my juniors and they have to help me with the work. So this administrative responsibilities can eat your valuable time, but at the same time, these administrative responsibilities can give you some important experience for you to work in the future. So I'm going to put the tips in two different ways. Now, this is one model that we can use. So here we can see there are eight tips for one to take it up. Self-assessment, set clear goals, explore educational opportunities, networking and mentorship, embrace cross-functional projects, seek feedback and constructive criticism, develop soft skills, and stay current with the trends. So this is one way to look at it. Or we can put it in a different way where we can get a 7-step model. But basically, it's the same, but we have put it in a different ways. So according to this 7-step model, be adaptive, communicate effectively, be proactive and take initiative, take on new challenges, build on a strong network, continuously develop your skill, set clear goals and the priorities. Exactly, I will not say it is exactly, but basically they are the same, but we have put it in different words, and adding and deletions are there from one to the other. So we'll take these points and discuss one by one. And if you have any question regarding my presentation, you can ask at any time, or later once we finish it, we can discuss things well. One is the self-assessment. Now, this is very critical. We have to have an assessment regarding ourselves. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And what are the areas that to be improved? And what are our goals? What we would like to be one fine day? Now, we can take the different pathways in our career. You can be a very good researcher. You can be a very good administrator. So likewise, there are different roles for one to take. And you have to select which role that you would like and which role will select you the best. Now, for example, I am not a person who is very much interested in administration. Even though I have taken some responsibilities in the past and have contributed to the administration, I don't want to take the administration as a full-time job. I would like to, my passion is for teaching, and then followed by the research. So likewise, you can select which is your favorite area, which is what you want. Consider your skills, knowledge, and the interest which will reflect your career goals. Having the clear goal is very important, and this goal will depend on your self-assessment. Now, when you are coming up with your self-assessment, you can do it in multiple ways. One is journaling. Now, here what you are going to do, you write your own ideas, and which will help you to check with yourself once in a while and to see your track progress. So you will say, okay, at the end of the year, I want to get it into this. And you write it and you'll keep it with you. And after a while, you can check whether you have achieved that. Later in the presentation, I will show you a table that I have asked my junior colleagues to do it. And one girl has sent it today. So I was trying to borrow it from her, but she was not very happy to do that. So I have put it in a different way. But having this documentation is very important. And put reminders. And one way to do it, you can put it in your phone so the reminder will come, or you can paste a sticky note in your computer or wherever, where it will remind, okay, this is my target, this is my goal. Or we can do a mind mapping. You can think in mind, you can have different areas, a picture, what you want to be in the future. After your self-assessment, it is very important for us to have a clear goals. Now you have to go beyond your self-satisfaction. I'm happy who I am. So that is the most negative attitude one can have. No, you have to go up in the ladder. There's enough things. Now, even though I have achieved certain things in my life, that is not going to stop me from there. So I have some more. I want to achieve some more. I'm keep applying for things and keep doing it. And that will not only help me, and automatically it is going to help the juniors who are working with me. So for us, each and every, we have to get out from this self-satisfaction, and we have to have a clear goals. And these clear goals has to be measurable. And there is no point in having a very broad goal. So you have to have a defined goals which are measurable. And these goals, or we can say it is a KPI, key performance indicators, which you can measure later on. So for example, you say, okay, you want to have a number of publications presentation. What is the target that you are going to achieve? For me, 1 publication per month. So that is my target. Even today, I've kept with the target. Whether we are going to achieve it 100% is a different story. We may not be able to achieve it a different story, but if you don't have a target, if you don't have a goal, and if you are not working to achieve the goal, we will not get it, and the time will fly and we will not get it. So it is very important to have these clear goals, and these clear goals will provide the direction to your professional development from towards what side you are going to go with. And it will give you the motivation to do it. You have a target. Okay, this year I want to have 5 publications. You get it. You will be happy. It basically give you some type of a trophy to your own self. And when you are setting up these goals, make sure that you follow the SMART criteria. The goals has to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. It has to be very specific. It's not, I want to be a professor one fine day. So these are not a very good type of a goal. So when do you want to do it? How are you going to do it? So all this has to be there in your goals. So be specific, and your goal must be measurable, and they has to be, you must be able to achieve them, and it has to be realistic as well as timely. So you can have your goals short term, medium term, and the long term. So what are you going to achieve in 2024? So we have 5 more months to go. During these 5 months, what we are going to achieve? By the end of 2025, what you are going to achieve? By the year 2030, what you are going to achieve? So have these set targets, which is going to help you, and it will help you in defining your career aspirations and ambitions, and it will help you to identify the specific skills and the knowledge needed for you to improve and get these the goals achieved. And it will help you to come up with a realistic and measurable plan, identify targeted skills for advancement, and it will help you in assessing the current skill, and also to identify the gaps in your skill. And those gaps you can fulfill with the time frame. And also it will help you to identify the demands and the future trends. Now, for example, there are trends for the day and there are trends for the tomorrow. And certain things are good. And especially when you are going to go for the publications, the journals will look at the current things. These days, if you are doing something on the AI, the chance of it to be successful for a publication is very high. Because everyone is talking about the AI and everyone is interested in AI. But remember, the AI, after a few years' time, will have a natural day. Not the AI per se, but the demand for the AI because everyone is doing it. So in another 2 years, 3 years' time, most of the things will be flooded with the AI related research and all that. So now we have to look a step beyond the AI. Few years back, for our field, it was the quality of life. Everyone was doing with the quality of life studies, and the journals were full of that. So today, if you have done a quality of life study, it is extremely difficult for us to get it into a good publication. So look at the today's trend as well as tomorrow's trend. Explore the educational opportunities. What you have learned yesterday is not valid today. It will be getting outdated. So therefore, you have to continue to improve yourself. If you are only with the basic degree, think what you are going to get as your postgraduate degree. Are you going to go for a PhD? Are you going to go for an MPhil? Or are you going to go for an MSc? So that has to be identified. And the area, your postgraduate study, postgraduate area has to be fulfilled. The moment you stop learning is the time where you will become a plateau. So it's a continuous process. Even today, we have to learn things. That does not necessarily mean we are going to follow a degree program at this moment. There are other ways and means for you to do it. If you are not done a postgraduate, getting it is fine. It is important and getting it's a must. But at the same time, in short term, you can go for the workshops, you can go for the seminars, webinars, online courses, and there are many other things. One, some of these will add a qualification to your CV. Others will help you to develop your the skill and the knowledge into those. Value the formal education. There are two sides, formal education and informal education. The informal education is also important, but at the same time, If you are going to be a good scientist, you have to have a formal education in certificates, education with the qualification. So in order to add that, so you have to perceive in your higher education. And the higher education has to set with your prior goals, which you have discussed the previously. Gaining hands-on experience and the practical learning will help you to work effectively and in a better way. Short courses and workshops. Nowadays, we are getting enough short courses and workshops. Every day there is 1,001 short courses or the workshops happening in one way, one place or the other. And these are very helpful and they are very affordable and they are quick and they are specific for one particular area. So you don't have to follow each and every, you can pick certain areas which will help you. Now, for example, if you are not very good in the statistics, either you have to get the support from the statistician, and all the time depending 100% of the statistician may not be very practical. So you can learn the statistics by going for a short course and a workshop, which will not make you a statistician, but it will help you to understand the basic statistics that we are going to use. And there are online learning platforms and the resources which are very useful, very helpful. Only catch in this online learning platform and resources to identify the correct one. There are bogus ones and there are ones which are not up to the point, and sometimes it's basically waste your time and the energy. So identify, always go for a reputed platform or a reputed resource, reputed online learning program. And if you are not sure whether this online learning program is good for you, always get the advice from someone who has done it or someone who is knowledgeable about the source. The main advantage of online learning platform, it's very flexible. We all are busy people. Finding a time, especially during the daytime, may not be very easy for us. So when we are following an online program, we can fit it, we can fix it with our calendar without any problem. I will talk a little bit on the networking and mentorship, and I have mentioned this few times as well. Networking and mentorship is very critical in our life. Networking helped me a lot to achieve who I am today. It's basically working with the people. Now, in order to meet people, in order to get the similar-minded people and the people with the experience into your network, there's no point in you sitting in one place and thinking that these people will come to you. No, it is not going to happen. You have to go to the people. So go for the events, and some of these events are social events. Now, if we go for a social event, most of the time, especially in our field, we see the same faces, and most of these faces are either in the same age of as mine or the people who are above my age. We don't get much young people into these events because they don't consider these as an important event. They are not scientific events, but they are social events. But the social events will be very helpful for you to interact with the people and getting it. That is in addition to going into the scientific events, and there can be seminars, symposiums, and various types of sessions. Go for all these, and just go in there, sitting in a corner is not going to help you. So my colleagues will agree with me every time I am telling them. So when you go, for example, the people from my department, when they go for a function, you can see a table where all the people from the same department sits with. Now that has to be changed. So if you want to talk, you can talk in the department. What is the purpose of you going into one of these events? So the reason why you are going into these events is to meet with the people and to exchange ideas, gain the friendship. So that is not going to happen if you are going to sit with only the same group of people. Go and mix with the people, talk with the people, identify. And each one of you must have a name card with you. Nowadays, the people don't print it. You have your the name card in the WhatsApp. So always get it ready and share it with the people. You give it 100, at least one person will contact at one fine time. So that is important. Getting 1 out of 100 is going to help you. So you have to, for example, if you want to get a mango from a tree, you have to hit the stones, and if you are lucky, you will hit the mango on the first go. If not, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, after a while, you may get the result. So likewise, we have to talk to the people and we have to get the idea. So there's a saying, say the closed mouth don't get fed. So if you keep your mouth shut, you are not going to get your food. So likewise, if you keep your mouth shut, you are not going to get the networking bet. So as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the key things. So the quickest way to become a successful is by connecting with the people who are in the area, and especially the people who have achieved the goals in their life. So you can be with them, and that will help you to support you. Now, I will show you the publication later on. About a few months back, one of our papers was published in the Periodontology 2000, and that journal is having an impact factor of 17.5. So you can understand how difficult it will be to publish a paper in a journal where the impact factor is 17.5. It's extremely a good journal. And how I got the opportunity? That is because of the networking. So I have few friends here and there. So one of these friends got an invitation from the journal because he's a high-ranking person, big shot in the research field. So he has been invited by the journal to write a review paper for the journal. So it is an invited review. And when he wants to do it, so he try to get a group arranged to do the job with them. So I was selected simply because of the networking. They are not going to go through the internet and to see that whoever the best person. So they will get a person whom they have associated with and they can trust with. So if you know people, many opportunities will come in. So it will help you to go with it, and it will be a win-win situation for both parties. Expanding your professional network is very important. And one way to expand your professional network, which will help you in your career, is using the social media platforms. Social media platforms, okay, some people are having a negative thoughts about the social media platforms, but if you are using your social media platforms well, it is academically very successful, very important. Nowadays, the people, you can link with the people through the LinkedIn, whatever it is. So all these social media platforms, including the Facebook or the TikTok, is very helpful, and it helps you to share your thoughts, and it will help you to connect with the people. Attend the specific webinars and conferences, engage with the experts and thought leaders, connecting with the peers and the co-workers. Don't be in one particular place. Some people, they don't go out from the table. No, you have to get out of it and get the people. And seeking a mentor relationship, engage self-directly in learning projects, and you can have your personal projects and many others. Having a portfolio for you is very helpful. You have to have a portfolio, and you have to be organized in the specific manner. Otherwise, when you want to find something, you are looking for your documents, and so it's not going to help you. Updating the CV is very critical. And at the same time, now the CV alone is not going to go with it. At your career, at your stage, having a good portfolio will be very helpful with the evidence. So make sure you update your CV then and there. And most of the time when I ask for a CV, they say, okay, we will update it and give it. And most of the time it is never going to happen. And when you have updated, when you are trying to update it, and you have missed certain points which should have been included. So make it a point, whenever you get it something, you do it then and there. So if you look at my CV, you can go to the website and see, and it's updated up to the last week. So up to the 27th of July, it's updated. So only few days left. So I will update as soon as I complete the task. I'm not going to wait for a month or two. Now, at my level, what is the purpose of having a CV? But still, even for us, it is very helpful. And embrace cross-functional projects. Nowadays, interdepartmental, interdisciplinary projects are not very valuable. So now the people are think beyond. So the projects that you are going to take on and the projects that you are going to plan on has to be multidisciplinary, at least interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary projects. And that, it is very easy to say. if you are going to ask for a funding, and if it is only you who is going to do it, or it is only the people in your department who is going to do it, the chances of success is very less. And not only that, when you are going to go for a multidisciplinary projects, it will help you to go with the collaborations. And all that is very helpful for us in the development. Seek feedback and constructive criticism. This is an area where we are very much negative, or this skill, most of us, we don't have it. You have to have feedback. You have to have a feedback about yourself by yourself, and you get the feedbacks from the others. Now, I sent a message to Kalpani in the morning and asked her to get a feedback from about this presentation from you all who are listening to it, because it helps me. Even though I have done at least good 250 talks as a resource person, still there's a room for me to improve. The area that I'm talking today is different from the areas that I usually talk. So I want to see how you have taken me and the content that I am presenting. So then the next time when I'm doing something, I can get these points and improve my presentation. So likewise, each and every area you have to get the feedback. And always get the constructive criticism. And if someone, whether the person is senior to you or junior to you, criticize you constructively, take it positively and see whether it is right. And if it is the case, get yourself corrected. So this is the cycle. It is a cycle. Seek feedback, and getting the feedback alone is not going to help you. Identify the areas to improve. And if there is area to improve, take the relevant skills, change the current approach, and go with the new suggestions, work it, and go for the feedback again. So this has to be a continuous project. Develop soft skills, the communication skill, writing skill, and the other soft skills. All these has to be improved, because you stay in the career, and the movement upwards in the career will depend on the soft skills as well. Nowadays, there are enough workshops, seminars, training programs, and the development of soft skills. Delivering a lecture, again, a type of skill. And there are people who are born with the art. If it is not, you get self-trained. Stay current with the trends. What we have learned yesterday is going out. So we have to identify what the trend is and go with the trend. Now, how are we going to identify the trend? It is by reading, and it is by talking to the others, experts in the fields. And if you stay with the trend, and if you improve your skill, improve your knowledge to stay with the trend, then you can perform better. Otherwise, you will be outdated, and no one wants to take you with them in the field. Balance work and the personal life. This is very important. Even though I have 1001 work to do, most of the time I don't work after hours. I come to my work around 7:30 and stay a little late. Most of the days 4:35. But once I go home, I'm a family man. I'm a husband and a father, and I look after myself. I go for a daily walk, at least 1 hour a day, and read a lot, watch the TV. So I have some time for myself. And can we do it? Yes, we can do it. Now, if I can do it, why not you? Only thing, you have to have an organized structure. You have to avoid getting the distractors. The time management is really important. It will help you to balance the work. It will help you to think differently, and it will help you to take up in the ladder. Don't think that doing work only is going to take you forward. No, it is not. Reflect, adjust, and give yourself the grace. So that comes with the balancing the work together. Be organized. This is very critical. Understand the importance of organization. Use a calendar and planner. These are simple tools, but they are really, really critical. I am an old-fashioned man, so I have a small book in my pocket all the time. So I write whatever I have to do, and I cross it out whenever I do it. But nowadays, there are online tools for you to do it. Plan ahead. Always, my motto, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That is my motto. I hope for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst case scenario. Set your own deadlines, set rules to yourself. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. They has to be very clearly set. Follow a schedule. Take advantage of your most productive time. Some people can work better in the morning, whereas some people can work better in the evening. So take your time. For me, the best time is 7 to 8. That is the time where I have the least disturbance either from the students or from the patients or whoever. So most of my productive work comes during that time. Compare your to-do list and see whether you have achieved or not. Use technology. It is available. And if it is available, why are we wasting the now, for example, letter writing, at times we use a lot of time to draft a letter. But now we have the AI. Why should we waste our time drafting a very simple letter? I'm not talking about the publications. I'm talking about the simple letter. And another important thing which will help you in the time management, learn to say no. Most of the time, we are hesitant to say no, thinking that the other people will get offended. No. If you can't do it, and if you are not suitable to do it, say no, can't help. This is what I have mentioned. So this is the table that I'm asking all my junior colleagues to do, and I have one for myself as well. So this is basic, simple things, and we keep updating it. So it shows you what your work is. The first one, the study and the current status, up to date, how it is done, what we have done, completed the lab work, and the deadline that we are going to finish it. So likewise, you can have your own mechanism of doing it, but having something, a very simple table like this, and having a table is one thing, but that is not going to help you. Keep updating it and do it. So sometimes you have started work and you have forgotten it completely. And you can't remember whether you have done it or not. So this will help you to fulfill all that. You have to promote your image and your research. Then only the people will come to you and you will be recognized and the invitations will come to you, the opportunities will come to you. So don't think that getting the image of yourself, knowing the people is not something to do. No, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to have a good image about yourself and you have to promote your research as well in a professional way. Publication is very critical for you to go up in the ladder. So make sure that you go for the scientific writing and the scientific publication, and it is a skill. And when we are going to go for the scientific publications, you have to balance your publications. And if you're targeting the nature or the science and only thinking of publishing in those journals, it is not going to work. So your publications, the impact of the publications has to be balanced with. Now, for example, these are some of my publications which happens during the last couple of months. So you can see I have a publication in a journal which is impact factor 17.5, impact factor 4, 3.5. And then the lower two journals, the lower one is not having impact factor, but it is indexed in Web of Science. It's indexed in the PubMed and the Scopus, whereas the other one is in the local journal. It is not indexed. It's a local journal, Sri Lanka Dental Journal. So you can see how the things have mixed. So it is important because all our work may not be fit enough to go into a very high quality journals. Having that is important, but at the same time, we can plan for the simple projects, where we can get the publications in a not a very high reputed journal, but in an average journal. But at the same time, make sure that you don't publish it in predatory journals. There are thousands and thousands of predatory journals comes in. In no time, they publish it with a very limited money. So don't do it before you publish. Make sure you double check it, triple check it to see whether the journal is predatory. Not having a publication is better than having a publication in the predatory journal. So therefore, don't do that. Have international collaborations with the colleagues. Try to develop the friendship, and those international collaborations will help you. Don't think that I'm a very junior person, I cannot have the collaborations. No, you can. Still you can, because there are similar type of people in the other part of the world. So these are some of my collaborations. Right? You can see I have many collaborations in South Asia, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and some in the West, some in Africa. So likewise, having international collaborations is really critical. So these are some of the collaborations that we have. I will give you one thing about this consortium for head and neck cancer in Africa, which helped me to develop multiple collaborative projects and a lot of good work. So what happens, this consortium for head and neck cancer in Africa, once they have established it, they have put a newspaper, sorry, not the newspaper, journal publication regarding the establishment of this. So I saw it and I was interested, and I sent an email to the corresponding author of the journal saying that I'm very much interested in head and neck cancer. So I would like to get more information regarding the consortium, this consortium. So immediately I got reply from the person saying that they are very much happy with my email. And then the discussion went on. So they were very happy with my CV. And they invited me to be a expert, the consultant into this consortium. And with that, now we have done multiple projects with this group, and I have at least good 20 publications with this group. We applied grants. So it's a one email which helped me to get it into a different level. So whenever you think something is important, go for it. And if my email was not replied, or even what will happen? Nothing will happen. It's just a waste of email. Who cares? So always be inquisitive, and if it is, write to them and get the information. Go for the international conferences, which will help you to disseminate your knowledge as well as get the new ideas and make the friends with that. So these are some of the things. Now, this global burden of disease is a very high profile group run by the US university, and it comes with good opportunities. UH index is basically a marker for your success. So make sure that you work towards the H index and try to improve your H index, which will improve your visibility. So in conclusion, so I have tried to discuss few points which will help you to get it into the next level. But remember, all these are my personal experience, and that is how I have come into this point. That does not mean there are other ways and means. All what I have said is correct. Research is fun. So this is all what we have to remember. Research is fun. Going up in the career is fun, provided you do it in the proper way. So with that, I will conclude my presentation. So this is the last slide and the take-home message. Life is not always a bed of roses. Life is full of challenges and surprises. So if you think that, okay, the life is very easygoing, smooth, it's not going to happen. So we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a completely different challenge, and we have faced many challenges. During the COVID time, it was completely a different challenge, and we were not prepared for it. So we had to look different avenues, and it opened up different avenues. This Zoom, before the COVID, we have not used this, right? But the COVID gives us a different opportunity. So likewise, our life is full of challenges as well as surprises. And we have to be prepared for these challenges and surprises. And if you are prepared yourself, you will be able to face those challenges and surprises without much of an issue. With that, I will conclude my presentation. And if you have any question or any query, I'm more than happy to answer. And not only today, even afterwards, if you have any query, or if you need any advice, any support, any guidance, I'm more than happy to provide those with whatever the area that I am comfortable with, or whatever the experience that I am having with. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
So thank you very much, sir, sharing tips with our young scientists who join with us today. So I hope all were able to learn certain things from you personally. I also got certain tips from you, sir. So thank you very much. And I hope our participants, you may have uh, more things to ask from sir and clarify. Okay, so now it's open for questions. You can use the chat box also, and one of the participant is asking how to collaborate with you, sir.
Good question, right? So I'm more than happy to collaborate with anyone who is interested and will do it. So therefore, the best thing is to give me a ring or send me an email. So then we can have a mutual time which is suit both people, and we will be able to do something. Whatever it is, I'm very much open and will give my fullest support for the people if they are interested.
And I have one question. In these days, when talking with young scientists, sometimes most of them complain about the professional jealousy. And my personal view is it's something like that motivates us and encourages us. However, most of are complaining about that it makes the mental and the emotional stress to them. So, as a senior person, what is your advise our young scientists to overcome that kind of situations, sir?
Now, I have a very simple policy. If you look at us, how the nature has developed us, we have one mouth and two ears. Why we have one mouth? To talk less. Why we have 2 ears? To hear more. At the same time, get from one ear, filter it, keep whatever you want, all the rubbish you send it out from the other ear. Don't take these things seriously. You must be open for criticism. And if you should be open only for the constructive criticism. There will be different people who will say many things. Who cares? Don't take them seriously, don't take them personally, and take my word, when you are going up in the ladder, the problems will be more and more. So that is what I said. Our life is not a bed of roses. It will be full of surprises and challenges. And at times, there are a few of my colleagues in the audience, and if you ask from them, they will tell you the surprises we had in our life. And sometimes you trust one person and give the fullest support and everything to the person. At the same time, the person is attacking you. Like the Guttila story. I don't take them personally. So try to tolerate these things, because we don't have any other the alternative. So if you are going to take them seriously, if you are going to take them personally, uh, it's going to reduce your career. And if that happens, you are fulfilling the objective of the other person. Just have a nice smile, say thank you, and ignore it. That's it.
Yes. So I think
And don't think it is only a problem in Sri Lanka. I don't think it is a problem in only in your university or your institution. Don't think it is only problem in Colombo. Don't think it is only a problem in Sri Lanka. No, it is universal. Take my word.
so. I think we got a simple but a very useful answer. Thank you very much, sir. And there are a lot of positive feedback in the chat box. Let's say that the good presentation, motivational and the inspirational one, and one of the greatest and the inspirational talks I attended, and many thanks. So we have so many positive feedbacks, sir. And
And if
our
someone is having a negative feedback, I will be appreciating that too. Because that will help to improve myself. If you think that sometimes we are very hesitant to give a negative feedback, don't worry. If you have anything negative, tell it. I will correct myself for the next time.
so, are there any questions? So, there is a one question that how undergraduates manage their careers to become successful.
Thank you for the question, and it is a really good question. I didn't went up to that level because my basic understanding, the people who are attending this are the people who has completed their career. Now, one of the problems with the undergraduate versus a person who is graduated, we have basically fulfilled our initial part. So we are moving from that onwards. When it comes to the undergraduate level, certain things are very much restricted. Now, we'll say you are in the botany, you are studying the botany. So what you can do within the curriculum is very much limited. It has been already fixed. But at the same time, there are enough other avenues for you to consider. Even though you are in botany, if you want to learn something, there is enough way to collaborate and do it. We have many undergraduate projects, and I have a few undergraduate volunteers who are coming and working with me. And some of these people are doing very well because the collaborative work help us them to change their career pathway. So my advice for the undergraduate: don't confine yourself into one particular area. Always be open and always look for the opportunities. And even for the undergraduates, there are enough opportunities. At times, we think writing a manuscript is only for a university academics. No. Starting from writing article to the newspaper or writing article to a very good journal can be done by undergraduates. And I have seen some of the undergraduate work is better than mine. So that they have the caliber, but only thing is they are not open and they don't come up with that. It's part of the culture that we are having it. So my simple advice: sky is the limit. Whether you are undergraduate, postgraduate, sky is the limit. If you want to achieve, you can. So basic principles will be the same. You set your career goal starting from this. After 10 years, what I want to be. After 15 years, what I want to be. Work for it. We may not achieve everything, but if you want to achieve it, you will be able to achieve it.
Thank you, sir. I hope that participant got a good answer. Any other questions? So it seems no question. So thank you very much again, sir, accepting our invitation and share your thoughts with all these young scientists. And I believe your advices will help all of us to climb on our academic career. So thank you again. And one of the catchy thing in your presentation is establish a name for yourself. So I hope all of our young scientists, you can establish a name for you one day. So, and also I would like to thank all our participants to join with us today. And I wish a good time for all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And I'm expecting to see all of you in very high positions in the future.
Thank you, sir.